if you're an aspiring entrepreneur, then I'm sure you already know that your mindset, your habits, and your execution are everything. And honestly, even if you're not an aspiring entrepreneur, but you're just an ambitious person, these three things are going to be essential to your success. But let's face it, with so many books out there, how do you even know where to begin, right? In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the top 3 books that transformed my life, and they helped change the way I think, I plan, and execute. And I'm confident that they'll do the same for you. So let's just dive right in. All right, the first book that every aspiring entrepreneur must read is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. This book is an absolute game changer, and it really teaches, I think, anyone how to think to be an effective person, as it says in the title, right? But it's really about empowering individuals to take control of their own lives and align their actions with their values. And it does this through walking you through a set of principles that you can use on a daily basis to think the way that you want to think and execute the things that you want to. The first one that I thought was extremely important was the art of being proactive. And that really just means starting to take full responsibility and accountability for your results and your actions, and really switching the way that you think to how can I do everything in my power to drive the results that are within my control, right? That's the first thing. The second takeaway from that book was beginning with the end in mind. And this was honestly, I think, the most important and foundational piece of the entire book. In this habit, it really shows you how to clarify your vision that fuels direction, and it shows you how you can use this vision as a source of your decision making moving forward. So it essentially walks you through how to make a personal constitution that will aid you in your decision making in the future. All right. The third thing that I took away from that book was the importance of putting first things first. And I think we all struggle with this at times, but it really gives you a practical way for you to prioritize what moves the needle, not just what feels urgent. And it goes through the distinction between importance and urgency. Urgency refers to the time in which something needs to be done. Importance refers to the level of priority that should be attached to that thing. And a lot of the time you'll realize the most important things, exercising, eating right, doing certain things in the business, they're not the most urgent. And that book does a great job at outlining that. Another key takeaway that I took away from that book was the importance of seeking to understand before you're understood. And that is exactly what it sounds like. It's just really gaining the skill to prioritize listening to what people are saying, suspending your own thoughts and your own agendas and even your own responses, which can be very, very, very difficult, so that you can give full attention to just understanding what the person that you're speaking to is telling you. The last key takeaway that I got from that book was learning to think win-win. And what that means is just having the genuine intention that when there's someone on the other side of a transaction, or there's someone even on your team as a business owner, really thinking, okay, how can I get away from compromise and genuinely make this a situation where both people can feel like I walked away with a win? Because so often I think we just think about compromise, but there's another level that's above compromise that we can get to if we really just take the time to be thoughtful and pursue that. So those were the biggest takeaways that I got from that book. The second book that I'm going to recommend to every aspiring entrepreneur is Atomic Habits. You may have already read it, but if you haven't, this book is just an extremely practical and easy read that teaches you the basics of habit building. And the really cool thing about this book is that it goes into the psychology and the science behind effective habit building practices. So I'll go through some of my biggest takeaways from that book. I think the ones that really come to mind are the importance of momentum and identity when it comes to building habits. This book really drives home the importance of doing small actions every day that compound into large results, right? And I know that's a very simple thing to understand, but in reality, I think a lot of us feel like we need to do the most And for example, you may say, okay, I need to do workout for an hour. If you can't carve out that hour, you don't work out instead. This book genuinely shows you and teaches you the power of committing to just 5 minutes of working out on a daily basis, and how that transforms your identity as into someone who works out every day, or into someone who is a family person, whatever it is that you're working on. This book teaches you the importance of maintaining momentum and the role that plays in your psychology, and how important it is to do the activities on a daily basis, even if they're small, because that plays a massive factor into becoming a part of your identity. The other key thing I took away from this book was the importance of your environment. A lot of the time, I think we underestimate the importance of having the right environment around us that is conducive to the habits that we want to implement more. And the opposite of that, making sure that we also implement an environment that discourages the habits that we want to stay away from. So that was a really key and really helpful point that I took away from this book. And last but not least is the 12-week year. This is a book I actually just recently came across, and it's a game changer when it comes to helping you actually execute. It teaches you how to think more strategically when it comes to accomplishing your goals in less time. As you could probably tell by the title, it teaches you how you can have shorter execution cycles, and you can accomplish what many people take a year to do in substantially less time. But more important than that, I think the key takeaways are the importance of identifying strategic activities and distinguishing that from your monotonous daily to-do tasks, right? It's so easy as a business owner to get caught up in all the tasks that make you feel productive, but aren't actually moving the needle in terms of what's going to bring in and generate revenue for you, or what's going to really improve your business. I know I found myself in that place where, you find yourself getting too focused on like organizational tasks rather than the strategic things. So this book gives you a framework and a system that you can implement, so that you can measure and track your progress based on those strategic activities, not just the to-dos that help you feel more productive, right? So those are the 3 books that I think every aspiring entrepreneur or ambitious person should read in order to get the most out of themselves. Now, if you want help turning these insights into action, then I invite you on this page to schedule an alignment call with myself and my team. During this call, we'll look at the way that you're currently thinking. We'll identify some of your key limiting beliefs. We'll assess some of your current habits and patterns, and identify the ideal mindset that you need to overcome the number one thing that's holding you back from achieving what you're capable of. After that, then we'll map out a 4-step action plan to help you gain clarity and take aligned action towards your goals, so that you can execute with conviction and confidence in the next 90 days. Now, you might be thinking, why would we offer this call for free, right? And it's really simple. The reason is that we know that a percentage of you that do get this plan will want our help in actually implementing and executing it. If that's you, fantastic. We look forward to working with you. And if that's not you, that's fine as well. You still get the plan, but the only way to get the plan is to schedule the call. So what I'd love for you to do now is just click that link below so you can schedule a time and day for us to meet. And I look forward to seeing you on the call.